Hi, how is everyone doing today? I hope you are having a beautiful day. Today is a little crazy. It's like dreary and overcast, and the sun came out for a minute. I got all excited, went outside, and for like a few minutes it went overcast again. So I'm hoping that the weather will decide to clear up soon because I'd like sunshine. I need sunshine. I'm a Floridian and I miss my sunshine immensely during the winter months. All right, so today I am making something that I have never made before. I was struggling to figure out what to do with my ground beef other than, meatloaf or hamburgers, stuff like that. Plus, I needed to use this poor Roma. Look, it's getting pretty rough. It needs to be used. I have this bell pepper. I don't know why we always end up with a bell pepper, and then I have an onion. I also have some tomato paste, garlic, parsley that I didn't use all of with the bean salad. So I need to use that up. So I've got that in here as well. Some chicken broth that I need to use up. So a little bit of sour cream, a little bit of cream cheese, salt and pepper. And of course you can add various seasonings to your flavor that you like. So this recipe was given to me by a dear friend named Bob, who I sent the ingredients that I had and that I needed to use up desperately. And I was struggling really hard to find anything on the interwebs that would help me out. So here I am. I'm going to attempt to make Bob's recipe. And I am very excited to give this a try. So here we go. I'm just going to dice up this Roma. I'm not sure that it has to be terribly small pieces, but I do want it to break down a bit when I turn it into sauce. So I guess I'll make them a little bit smaller just to help out with that process later on. This is the first time I'm making anything like this, so I'm very excited, and I hope that I do it right. I think Bob understands that I am not a cook, so I think he really explained things well, and so I have faith that I will do okay, but we shall see. I have messed up things in the past, so hopefully I don't mess this one up. But yeah, we shall see in time. So let's see here. So yeah, I'm just kind of chopping this guy up a little bit. My beautiful Roma tomatoes. I like getting those tomatoes because it seems like they're really good for sandwiches because they're not very meaty in the middle. Alright, so I've seen people do this to cut up their bell peppers, so I've never done it this way, so let's just give it a try. Seeds everywhere, seeds. Making a mess all over my space. Alright, I forgot to bring the trash can close. I almost lost that one. Did you see that? Oh my goodness. This is how you know you're not watching a professional at any of this. Not for making the videos, not for the cooking. Baking, I'm kind of alright at. I'm also going to reiterate that I will not be doing cooking videos such as this in the near future. Starting May 1st, we are running our food truck. So whatever videos I am able to post on the socials will be about all the food truck things. Yeah, I hope you're excited about that. I know I'm excited to be back out in the truck. So there's all that. We'll just... Oh yeah, here, let me get my little handy dandy shovelly thing. All these seeds. Again, I guess I could have had this done beforehand, but I don't know. Figure y'all had fun maybe laughing at my cutting skills. I don't know. So this is going to give this dish a little bit of a bite, he says. So I can use a little bit of a bite in this. And I do like how most recipes are very flexible on how you do things. Right. Oh, we're going to need to make sauce very soon. Did not realize that we forgot to check out our sauce situation, and we really need to make some sweet. We're good with the sweet and spicy and the spicy. I have some Grants, but I'm out of Grants Exotic, I'm pretty sure. So when we first start running, we might just have the sweet and spicy and spicy. I don't know. We're anticipating making some very soon. Instead of hot bottling it though, because hot bottling you have to wait. Jody says 1.5. Longest would be 2 weeks for it to be ready to eat or use. You need to give it that time when you hot bottle it to get all your flavors to commingle nicely. But with cold storage, with cold bottling, it takes a little longer because you have to cool down your sauce. But we have those paddles that you put ice in and then you can stir it in to help cool things down quicker. So we'll be cold bottling because that will only be 3 days and then we can use it. So that's what we'll be doing to start. But after we get rolling and get back into the swing of things, it takes us a minute. Each season it does get a little bit quicker. We remember more the routine. You fall into it a little better. I will say the first couple of seasons was rough, getting back into it. But I think each year we try to remember what we learned from the previous season and try to remember to incorporate that into the new season. And sometimes we fail to do that, but we're only human. We do the best we can. All right, so I think that's good. I think that'll be all right. And I will say, Bob sent me like several different ideas, and I went through them, but based on what I have available, this was my best option. And I feel like he kind of made this recipe on the fly specifically for me and what I told him I had. Which, if he did that and took that time, greatly appreciated because it sounds delicious. And I'm very excited, and hopefully I do this correctly. Yeah, here, let's just... All right. And he gave me options too. He's like, you know, you don't have to use the whole onion. I appreciate that. I usually don't. I usually end up just using half. But I may just go ahead and use it all. Because I forgot that I think I have half an onion already in the refrigerator. But I'm going to save that one for Jody, because sometimes he likes to have onions on things raw. And I'm not really a fan of raw onions. I prefer them cooked, sauteed, you know, that kind of a thing. And I guess I'm not very good at doing two things at the same time, like talking and cutting, but I'm trying to think of things that I can talk to while I chop. Let's see. Previous video, I explained that I'm going to be switching gears with my videos. I'm going to do my best to continue to post to the YouTube and the Rumble and what have you. But it all depends on how much time I have. And typically I don't have a lot of time when we're setting up. So when we arrive someplace, when we pick a place to go set up, we arrive typically 2 hours prior to service. Why? Why so long? Well, because we have a tent to put up, and then we have to empty out the box can of like the table that I use, the table that Jody uses to season and, you know, get things ready for the smoker or grill. And then to do a cook, you know, because typically we're making mac and cheese, you know, chicken or burgers. You know, we're cooking something. We always try to cook something. You know, and doing the pulled pork and the brisket, you know, those items we typically have ready to go because, you know, it's 10 hours for brisket. It's a long time. It's very rare that we set up somewhere for longer than 2 hours prior to service. The only reason why we would be there earlier, sometimes like when we used to set up at Save-A-Lot, which is now Dollar General Market in Fostoria. A few times there, we have gotten there really early and smoked ribs for 6 hours or so prior to service. So we usually did that for dinners. I don't know what each season will bring until we get to it. So I'm not sure, you know, how things will play out. Now, if you would like to hire us for an event and you would like us to cook on site, that is a $500 fee to cook on site. But you get to smell the amazing food for like hours on end and just get hungrier and hungrier and hungrier. So there is that. We're also figuring out how we can do bulk orders. We are talking to Katie over at Kermit's Family Restaurant, Bowling Green, about her being our commissary. So we're working on that. We might have a place that's going to be using our sauce exclusively in their establishment, which we are very excited for. I just don't want to say too much about things that are coming up because whenever it seems I get excited about something and I tell you all about it, either it takes forever and a day to happen, like the website, or it completely falls through, like that building that we thought we were going to get, that ice cream shop, which I still don't know if he's been able to sell that or do anything with that. I haven't kept up. But we have new things on the horizon. In the past, in a previous video, I think it was a live, I had talked about Bowling Green. There's a new vendors market, farmers market type of thing. The one that they have in Bowling Green, I think on Wednesdays, they don't have room for us. But this new market that's going on in BG Community Market, it's happening at the Woodland Mall. So there's going to be plenty of room. And for you vendors that, set up outside to sell your wares, if it's too terribly windy or, the weather's not conducive for your product to set up outside, they have options for you to go inside. Yeah, so that's nice. I mean, of course, we can't take our food truck inside. That would be cool, but no, that's not going to happen. So we're hoping that the weather holds out for the events that we do have on the books already, because we really don't like canceling other people's events due to high winds and such. But there has been a few occasions where we've had to cancel because the winds are just too high for our tent. And you got to think about your safety of you and your customers. And we really, really love our customers. We appreciate you guys, and we would hate for anything bad to happen because, we didn't do our due diligence. And what really sucks is sometimes we have canceled because of weather, because, the weather says, oh, it's going to be absolutely horrible with rain and wind. And you try to, if you do have to cancel, you try to let the people know, like, as soon as possible, like, if not the day before, like, early in the morning, so they're made aware. And then the weather evens out, and you're like, son of a gun, they totally lied. I totally could have went and set up. Those are the worst, but usually those are ones that we have just for ourselves, like when we used to set up at Advanced Auto and such like that. All right, so I've got my Roma, my bell pepper, and my onion all chopped up to the appropriate sizes that they need to be. So I'm going to give you guys a break, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I am back. I'm just getting my pan hot. I'm going to use some extra virgin olive oil. Ooh, that might have been too much. Go figure. Go figure. Alright, I'm sorry you guys can't see me, but that's kind of the nature of the beast when I'm trying to cook things for you on the stovetop. Bye. Did I even introduce myself? I don't think I did. My name is Victoria, and I am co-owner of OTR Smokehouse. We are a little food truck with big dreams, serving really good food and amazing sauce. So right now, I'm just getting my oil good and hot. I might have put too much in there. Because I have found that if I use too much oil, it it doesn't brown things like you want as well. And I kind of need to spread it all over the pan anyway. So why don't we just do that with the paper towel. Take a little bit of excess off. There we go. Alright, so I failed to get my ground beef out. It probably should have been sitting here warming up a bit. So I have 2 1/4 pounds. I'm also hoping that my skillet's big enough for all this. Alright, so I've got my 2 pounds of beef. I think my skillet's hot enough. We're going to find out, right? Oh, it sounds good. Here we go. Now let's use this one. So we're just gonna brown this up really good till almost totally browned because we're gonna keep cooking it when we add more things to it. So let's see here. So I'm gonna be using some chicken broth. I have a little bit of sour cream. I have some garlic. And I don't know, I got pepper, and then I got this, some sea salt that I'm going to be using in it. And then for bonus material, because, you know, you can do what you want, right? So I'm going to try it with a little bit of thyme. And, here it is. And I'm going to use some oregano. So yeah, so we're going to see how this turns out. Oh, I already have my thyme out. That was my extra one. Okay. So we're very excited for food truck season to start. Last year we introduced smoked lamb. We didn't really do a whole lot of it as sandwiches because we were kind of nervous that, you know, no one would buy it as a sandwich. And we weren't as busy as we were hoping we would be at some of the setups that we were at. So we're kind of thankful that we didn't have that. But we're hoping that this season that we'll pick up more people and, you know, maybe grow a little bit. That would be nice. But this season we're introducing another new menu item. It's bean salad. We experimented with it and took it to our favorite place who doesn't mind us using them as guinea pigs to see, you know, what we need to do, if it's good or not, or if we need to tweak it or something. And I know that they're going to give us their honest opinion and feedback, which is fantastic. We really need positive critique, or not positive, but we really need to be critiqued, you know, in a nice way. You know, don't come and say your food sucks. No, but, you know, in a nice way, say, you know, this was really good, but it could be better. But I didn't get any of that with the bean salad. So I'm very excited that our recipe that we found worked. I found a 3-bean salad recipe, and we just added 3 more beans to it, you know. So we made it a 6-bean. You can make it a 7-bean. You can make it a 10-bean. As many beans as you can find that you want in it. Alright. I'm just trying to get the pinkness to go away. I think that's what we're looking for, because like I said, it's going to continue to cook when we put in the veg and stuff. And we're going to be attempting to make a little bit of a sauce. So we're slowly getting there. He did say to drain the grease if we wanted, but to leave some for flavor. I had recently seen a trick where people were using paper towels, and I was like, oh, instead of trying to, like, you know, drain it off somewhere, like in the sink. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to try to do when I'm ready. I don't know if y'all have seen some of the people. I think it's a joke. I think they're being funny, but they say, oh, I learned something new to get the grease out, and they use a tampon. Gross. I don't care if it's not used. That's still gross. It's not what those are for. Don't be nasty. So I think we're getting close. Oh, I should probably season a bit, but I'm going to wait to season it when I take out the extra grease, because I don't want to take out any of the seasonings that I put in. You gotta be careful because it's hot. You don't want to burn yourself even with the paper towel, right? And I'm sure you need to leave some, you know, for making your sauce. Just take a little bit more out. Oh, I lost a ground beef there. Alright. I think that's good. And then we'll leave the rest. Okay, so we're getting close to it not having any pink in there. So I'm thinking what I need to do now is make a little space in the middle so I can put my onions and bell pepper. I think that's what I'm supposed to add next. And then my garlic. So let's push this all out to the sides. Get my little scoopy thing. A little handy dandy thing here. I don't know, I have a lot of onion. Maybe I won't use this whole lot that I cut up. Oop, and I just lost them on the floor. So that helps me to not use them all. And then Jody can have a little bit for salads or whatever. And we can use it for another meal. Alright. Gather up my bell pepper. Throw it in there. I don't know. We'll see how it looks. I might add the rest of that onion. I don't know. We'll see. Constantly making up my mind as I go. Alright, so And then, since I'm done draining off things, I'll go ahead and so we don't use these often, and Jody keeps, trying to use it. He says, "Oh, wait, I gotta take the top off." So we're gonna go ahead and season it up with some of our sea salt. If I get it to grind. There we go. Alright, I think that should be good. And then we'll do a little bit of pepper all over this. That. Maybe take a little bit of our thyme. Like that. Let's see, I'm using onion, garlic, so don't worry. And then we'll use some oregano too. Throw that in there. Alright. So we'll just give it a little bit longer so that way my onions maybe cook down a little more. And I do really like the one pan, one pot kind of a meal. It makes cleanup a lot easier. Oh, and hey, look, I'm wearing my Kermit's shirt. I'm representing my Kermit's, people. We love our Kermit's family restaurant. So they might not, it might be a while before they really get like translucent-y, but that's okay. We're just going to let it sit here for a few more. Cook down a little bit more. He said to give it, a few minutes. So I'm trying to be patient and wait a few minutes. Yeah, turn you guys a little bit. Maybe that'll be okay. You can kind of see my pot. Kind of see me. So our first events are going to be ProMedica hospitals over in Fostoria and Fremont. And then we will be in Signet for our garage sale days, which is May 7th, 8th, and 9th. So they picked a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and kept Sunday off the schedule. Interesting. Maybe because it's Mother's Day weekend and, might not want to go shopping on Sunday. Might actually want to stay home and spend time. But, so hopefully y'all come out and check out everybody's stuff that they have for sale. I believe people are putting their name and address up at our little local gas station at BH&H Snacks and Gas. Just let them know that you're interested in selling some things if you're in our little village, and they will add you to a list. I know they used to do like some kind of a map or something, but we'll see what happens. Alright, so I think it's been a little bit. We've tried to chat and be busy. So I'm just going to go ahead and push these aside a little bit more. I could probably take some more grease out. Maybe I will, just a little bit. Just so I can do my garlic a bit. So we're just going to stick this guy in here and just collect a little bit more of that grease. Yep. Oh yeah, I forgot my tablespoons. I need some spoons. So we'll just call this spoon a tablespoon. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and add some garlic into that. He said 3 to 5 cloves. You know, garlic is up to you as to how much you want, but I like it garlicky. I'm not sure how much garlic 3 to 5 cloves is, but there you go, guys. Put that in there like that. Garlic is pretty good for you, so we're just going to let that sit in there for a minute and let it start cooking up and get like some aromas going. Yeah, gotta get some aromas. Alright, then I gotta see what I gotta do next. Alright, so after this is good, and I'm gonna stir it all together here in a minute. Just let that sit a little bit longer. So this is at the point, oh, I got some on my thumb. Alright, so now we're going to work on building this sauce. So now I'm going to stir in some tomato paste. Now he suggested to do like 1 tablespoon and then towards the end give it a taste and see if it needs more, which is a good rule of thumb. You should taste things as you go to see how the flavors are working for you. Maybe you need a little bit more of something. Maybe you're really good at cooking and you know, oh, this flavor needs this to go with it, and that would be really good. So yeah, you have options. I don't know, I'm a little stuffy, so they might be getting flavor or, you know, smelling good and I just can't tell. Alright, so I wonder if I can just stir all this together now and see how it looks. I still have quite a bit of greasiness down there, but we're going to let that go. I'm not used to letting that kind of thing go. I'm used to like, you need to get all that out. But I do get what he's saying about the flavor. Kind of chop up my bits some more. That's looking pretty good, yeah? Alright, so now I need my tomato paste. So he says 1 to 2 tablespoons. My tablespoon's dirty, so I'm just going to use this big spoon and guess that that would be a tablespoon. Yeah, that looked like a good tablespoon. Put that right in there like that. Maybe I'll just add a little bit more because, you know, I like tomatoey goodness. Get Dr. Spoon. And I'm thinking I need to like cook this down for a bit too, he says. Alright, so I've got to cook the tomato paste down for a minute or two to help with the raw flavor of it, he says, which makes sense. So I'm thinking if I just keep it in the little well, let that sit there for a minute. Alright, so I think we've had a few moments for that to, you know, get a better flavor about it. Now we're going to take our aromas and put them in there. And then we're going to cook it again for a couple more minutes so, you know, to kind of break down the tomatoes. I've never really made something like this, like where you make the sauce inside. I know in the past I've watched Rachel Ray do that, or some people have like their flour and then they'll make a well to do things. So yeah, you know, we'll see how it goes. That's what it's always like here, seeing how it'll go. So I put my stuff in. Then I'll need chicken stock. And he says 2 cups of chicken stock or broth or whatever. So let's see if I even have 2 cups. Ooh, look at that, almost. All right, well, I'm a little bit shy of 2 cups. But I think it'll be okay because it is what it is, and that's what I got. And I'm thankful to use it all up. Especially before our season starts going like gangbusters because of the fact I'm not going to have time. And we're probably going to be eating our own food as leftovers that we have, you know, on the truck. Alright, so go ahead and add that in because it's going to keep breaking down as it cooks. So I think it'll be alright. Of course, Bob can always let me know what I did wrong in the comments if you'd like. I'm not opposed to learning things. Like, oh my god, yeah, you didn't wait long enough for that. Or, oh my god, that was on too high of a heat. Or not high enough. Whatever. Whatever. Okay. So, what's next? So, I bring this to a simmer. Let it gently bubble for like 5 to 10 minutes. It should reduce slightly and meld the flavors. And then that's when I am supposed to try it and see how my flavors are working. See if I need more tomato paste or salt, pepper, any of those things. And then you just go ahead and add it then. I must have missed writing something down. Alright, so I must have missed the part to write down about my sour cream and cream cheese. I know he says something about putting this in cubes and having about half of cream cheese, but I have not half the cream cheese. But that's okay. I think it'll be alright. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add in my sour cream too, because I must have failed to write something down. And see, I don't have a whole lot of sour cream. Let's see what he says. 4 ounces of cream cheese and 1.5 or half cup or 3/4 cup of sour cream. I'm not sure how much that is. You can tell it's all kind of separating and stuff. But it smells good, and I really need to use it. So we're just going to throw what I have in here, and it'll be fine. And I was trying to hurry so I could get this done before the husband comes home, and I probably failed to write a direction down. That would be my bad, not Bob's. Alright, so I'm just very thankful to get this stuff out of my refrigerator. Everybody hates to throw things away, you know? So let's just mix that all up in there. And I failed to chop up some parsley to put in here, so I'm going to have to do that as well. We'll just mix this all together. You see how it's changing the color of the sauce? Alright, so I've got all the things in except my parsley. And I kind of stuck it all in this jar because I was like, what am I going to do with all this parsley? So I just shoved it in this jar. And Jody's like, wow, the parsley looks kind of nice in that jar. Well, yeah, it does. So I need to get these onions out of my way. Yep, see, I forgot I had onion in the 22nd. That's alright, we're going to add this onion in there too. It'll be fine. Oh, that failed, kind of. A lot. Up close and personal now, huh? So this is probably going to be a long video because I didn't give myself any way to not talk and speed things up. Alright, so it's starting to boil. So we're going to turn this guy down and let it simmer. And while it's doing that, bring this over here. Let's see about this parsley. So I figure if I can take half of it and use half of it for like a garnish, and then half of it to choppy chop. Well, these look like they were not ready yet, but that's all right. And I haven't used fresh parsley often. Jody says he uses the stems at all, but when I was chopping it to put it in the bean salad, the stems were very difficult to cut. So I'm like, if they're difficult to cut, they're going to be difficult to eat, I'm thinking. Unless they're cooked, I guess that might be all right. But, you know, in their natural state, if I'm having trouble cutting it. But, again, I could be wrong. You guys can teach me things if you want. You can let me know in the comments if I'm right or wrong about that. Guess I'm just kind of treating it like asparagus. So I do know about asparagus, like you take the asparagus and you kind of bend them, especially at the bottom part, and wherever it breaks, that's the part you don't want to eat. So I do know that, so I'm kind of using that same theory for these little guys right now, because it just makes sense in my mind, I guess. Again, you can let me know if I'm correct or not. I'm not opposed to learning from my audience at all. And you still get some stems in there. It's just the ones that, you know, can actually be cut. Okay. And I've seen them, they just kind of like bunch it all up somehow and then just start chopping. Okay, I think that's good. Most of it's into smaller bits. Okay. They're right in there too. Just like that. I still got little bits of cream cheese that haven't quite melted down, so I'm kind of mushing them a bit. He did say to put it into blocks and have it softened, but I didn't have that much, so I figured it wouldn't really take that long. Alright, well, this will be the moment of truth also, is if I have too much, if I left too much grease. I'm thinking if I have too much grease, it's gonna not thicken as much. I could be wrong. We're gonna find out. But I think I have everything in here together, so now it's just a matter of simmering it and letting it reduce down and hopefully thicken up. So I am going to let you guys go for now, and I will be back later to see how this is going. All right. Alright guys, so I have given this a little bit of a tasty taste. I did add a little bit more, maybe a tablespoon of tomato paste. I did take some paper towels and did down around on the top just to get some more of that greasiness out, because I may have left too much grease and I may not have let my tomatoes break down enough prior to putting all the other things in. And then I'm going to have to decide if I am going to... So I used all my chicken stock, so I can't make rice. I could use water. I guess that would be okay. I'm just not really used to using water for that. I'm thinking about maybe making some mashed potatoes or something to go with this. But all in all, I think it looks fabulous. Looks really nice. I think we are really going to enjoy this. And when I decide if I'm making potatoes or not, and I plate it up, I will show you in pictures how it is. Maybe you'd like a closer view. Let me switch you. There you go. Now you can see it better. So you see all that yummy goodness in there. My sauce is turning saucy. It did reduce a bit. I'm not sure that's really getting thick, but that's because I don't have a whole lot of cream cheese or sour cream to put in to be like thickening agents. I possibly could take some cornstarch and water and mix that up real good and put it in here, but I don't know if I should do that. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. And yeah. So when Jody gets home and I figure out what he thinks would be good with it, then I will plate it and I will take a picture, and that will be my cover photo. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video of learning with me new things. Sometimes I do it right, sometimes I don't. You just never know with me, huh? Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me and for watching these videos. As I said, I don't know what the future holds for the summer months. Once summer is over and we come to the end of our season, maybe I can start doing these again. If you would like that, let me know. And so yeah, so ta-ta for now.